from Columbia, 40 minutes from Clemson, yet the perfect battleground for a historic rivalry between the Gamecocks and the Tigers. Secours Wellness Arena opened in 1998 hosts the second matchup between these two foes this season. Welcome inside the broadcast booth alongside my great friend and broadcast partner, Tyler Perrone. My name is Austin McConnell, and we have a fun one for you here tonight inside Secours Wellness Arena, home of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, where they just faced off against the Jacksonville Icemen, and what a game it was. 3-2 the final score. The Icemen come out on top after 2 goals in the final minute of the game. Tyler, this has been a one-sided affair between these two teams for quite some time now. The last time Clemson beat this Gamecock team was back in 2022. What could be different tonight?
Yeah, well, Veterans Day, November 11th, 2022, like you said, the last time the Clemson Tigers defeated this Gamecock team, the Division II team. They've defeated the D3 team a couple of times, but most recently when they played this team, the D2 team, they got a touchdown hung on them with the extra point, like we like to say here, 7-0 at the Plex in sunny Irmo, South Carolina. I can't say I necessarily think today will be much different. I mean, I believe that these two play in different divisions for a reason. Clemson's in D3. On the most part, this Gamecocks team usually looks a little faster, a little quicker to the puck, but I think that Clemson's main strength is, for the amount of goals that they let up against this team, is actually the goalie. Parker Dietz is fantastic, and he usually starts the first periods of games really, really well, gets up, like at least 30, 40 saves a game versus the Gamecocks, but then his defensemen in front of him slip a little bit. So I think if Clemson does want to eke something out, it comes on the back of Parker Dietz.
8.5 minutes until puck drop. Parker Dietz, like Mr. Perrone just mentioned, has a 5-5 record with 4.13 goals against average. Hailing out of Fort Mill, South Carolina, one of only 2 guys from South Carolina on this Clemson roster. And then we've got, of course, Tyler Tamoyan in goal for the Gamecocks. Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Tamoyan's been fantastic. He was in the goal when they won the AAU D1 championship before the Gamecocks changed leagues. And, it's another big day for him. I mean, a lot of these people from a bunch of these different teams are going out, some graduating seniors. Tamoyan is one of them for the Gamecocks. I will say the Gamecocks have far more than Clemson, and that's really the main draw of this game, other than the rivalry, of course. But this is going to be the last time a lot of these seniors see the ice. The playoffs and the regular season are done for both teams, and this is maybe Clemson's time to stamp something on this rivalry, as a lot of really good guys from South Carolina are leaving. They want momentum coming into next year, but we will see about that in just a little over 7 minutes.
We talk about historic rivalries all the time, but especially this one between Clemson Tigers and the South Carolina Gamecocks. There was also some history made between 3 different Gamecocks on this club this year. Tyler, what were they?
Well, it all has to do with, either points or goals, what have you. In terms of goals, I mean, it's the Bostonian, the main man, John Riggins. Stellar goal scorer. He played a big part on the AAU Division I championship team. So that all of these happened in January too. Riggins, most goals. Jake Pushkar, most points in club history, and Brendan Flaherty, most points by a defenseman in club history. So we're looking at those 3 to be big factors in terms of scoring and assists. You can't forget your classics like Tommy Marvin, Colin Reed, and the others, but I am really, really looking forward to puck drop.
They give John Riggins and Brendan Flaherty the A on their chest, and of course you got to give Jake Pushkar the C. So 3 very deserving captains, 3 guys who have meant so much to this club and organization. And of course we've got a couple on the Clemson side of things. Will Ralston has 7 goals and 8 assists from Newark, Delaware, the junior. So he'll be here for 1 more year next year, and we'll see these Gamecocks twice more in his senior year. Then on the defensive side of things, we already talked about Parker Dietz in between the net. But then we've also got Oliver Grinkin, who can play both ways. He's a great defenseman, but he can find the back of the net a few times if he wants to. 4 goals, 3 assists on the year from Montclair, New Jersey. He's a senior, so he'll be on his way out. One final game, and what a cool final game in this arena, home of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Like we mentioned earlier, just faced off against the Jacksonville Icemen before this.
Thank you so much, by the way, to Secours Wellness Arena and, the various sports clubs for hosting us. We got to watch the game. It was great.
It was a great game, and Greenville had Josh Zari. His first professional goal came just about 3 minutes into the first period. That was the only scoring in the opening 20 minutes. Second period, Jacksonville ties it up, and then a few minutes later, Greenville retakes the lead. And so it looks like they're in control for the first 40 to 50 minutes of the game until the last 60 seconds.
Last
with 50
30
seconds to go. Yeah, with 50 seconds to go, Jacksonville ties it. And then with 22 seconds left, Jacksonville takes the lead. An absolute heartbreaker for a very large crowd here in Greenville, but nonetheless, a great game today.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I'm looking forward to things happening here. And a little note before we, take a quick break and go into the national anthem and all the festivities happening today and whatnot. I would like to mention Clemson, even though it's not the same team, they definitely are a little hot-headed. The last time that they played a hockey game was against the USC Division III team, and they lost to them for the 5th place game for the College Hockey South Championship.
Definitely a chip on the shoulder of these Tigers. Like Mr. Perrone just mentioned, we're about 4 minutes and 10 seconds away from the festivities and getting ready to drop the puck here in Secours Wellness Arena. We're going to step aside for just a brief moment. You are watching Gamecocks versus Tigers on SGTV. All right, we are back and ready for the pre-game ceremonies. Both teams surrounding their goaltender, picking up the warm-up pucks. And we're about ready for starting lineup and national anthem coming up here. Lots of excitement in this building. We are in Secours Wellness Arena. If you just joined us, welcome to Greenville, South Carolina. Pretty much about the midway point between Columbia and Clemson University. Gamecocks versus Tigers, a historic rivalry here today. And game was scheduled for about 6 o'clock. The Greenville Swamp Rabbits just took on the Jacksonville Icemen. A 3-2 score in favor of the Icemen after 2 goals in the final minute earlier today.
Yeah.
Very close game, very exciting game. My name is also McConnell alongside Tyler Perrone. We are about to get underway here in Secours Wellness Arena.
Yep. And I should probably mention for anyone curious, this game was supposed to happen in January, if not for, those flurries of snow that South Carolina got. Not really used to that, so bit of a delay. Now, late March for some hockey. Who can say no? But time for me to be quiet.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your starters this evening for the University of South Carolina. Number 3, Brendan Flaherty. Number 5, Kai Bonsukan. Number 11, Carson Stickley. Number 8, Jake Huskar. Number 25, John Riggins. And number 33, Tyler T-Boyen. Your head coach is Alan Serrano. Your assistant coach, Steve Roshan. And your EM, Emma Silvas. And now starting for your Clemson Tigers. Number 19, Colin J. Number 8, Oliver Creakin. Number 16, Troy Gouveia. Number 11, Sully Hall. And number 8, Will Ralston. In goal, number 30, A.J. Ferruzzi. And your coaches, head coach, Casey Brown, and assistant coach, Paul Cadenhead. And now, if you are able, please stand and remove your caps for the national anthem.
Next up.
Yeah. You're right.
Next up is puck drop here in Secours Wellness Arena.
Can I put us in?
Throw on your helmets one last time. Pull those straps tight. It's time to go. Clemson versus South Carolina. One of the greatest rivalries in all of sports. In their second meeting of the season. And Tyler, the Gamecocks kind of started off slow. They dropped a tough game against Georgia for their opening game, and then lost 7-2 down in Tampa, got one back to split the series, and then got one back against Florida, but then it also split that series, putting them at 2-3 after 5 games. But the 7-0 win over Clemson, and then the 7-0 win over Wake Forest right after that really kick-started a phenomenal second half of the season.
Yeah, well, honestly, I'm not really surprised by that start because Georgia and Tampa through the College Hockey South, AAU and all that, they've kind of always been in the same division, and they've always been the boogeymen for the Gamecocks. But this team on the ice hasn't really. We talked about that in the open, but I think that it's a little foreboding for the Tigers to see, this Gamecocks team coming off such a hot end to the regular season and a pretty decent job in the postseason as well, getting to hang a banner, not league-wide, but conference-wide in the Plex as we tip off.
And here we go. Carolina takes control of the first face-off, and they'll start back in their own zone. Brendan Flaherty fanned on the puck. Turnover in the neutral zone. Back the other way comes Clemson's Troy Gavea. Puck down into the corner. Clemson will retain possession. Back to the point it comes. Shot goes wide there from Kevin Arthur. Puck behind the net. Tomoyen had it for a minute. It was dug out by Pushkar, but Stripes got the whistle in time.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the Tigers are going to run with the Gamecocks on the forecheck, because I'd say that that's usually where they've been lacking in past matchups. The Gamecocks just tend to get to the puck a little faster and tend to get men that collapse in on that crease in front of their goalie a little more.
Face off in the Carolina zone, won by Carolina. Puck comes all the way around. Here's Carson Scove. Now Brendan Flaherty with it in his own corner. Left there for John Riggins. Quite the good goal scorer, if you ask me. Puck's flipped into the neutral zone, and Clemson will now take possession of it. Puck played down into the corner to the left of Tyler Tomoyen. He comes in with a 9-2-1 record on the season and a pretty solid save percentage at .907. Riggins will try to clear the puck for the Gamecocks. Unable to do so. Coming to his aid is Jake Pushkar. He tried to bring it through the neutral zone. Got stood up, and it's turned over. And now Clemson back the other way. Matt Wallace flipped it in. Back up to Nico Toshin it comes. Toshin slams on the brakes, takes a shot. Goes off the shoulder of Parker Dietz, the netminder for the Clemson Tigers. Puck was lost for a brief moment, but Owen Connors ends up clearing the zone for Clemson. And back on it come the Gamecocks. Under pressure from the Clemson forecheck, and it leads to a turnover. Here's Carson Scove. He's number 18, excuse me. Lucas Van Mullen was number 11. That's my apologies. Nico Toshin with it in the corner now. Flips it out in front. Here he is. Shot got blocked in front there. That looked like it was Matt Franco who got a shin on it. And it goes to the corner, and Clemson will dump and change.
Yeah, good movement by Clemson to start off. Got that line change off, got that energy going. That's kind of one thing that seems to escape them is energy levels get lower around the second period, and then a 2-0 lead kind of grows for the Gamecocks, and that's what we've seen in the past. Good stop by Tomoyen, though, who comes from a long line of good Carolina goalies. We saw Zach Hayes before him have a similar sort of role, and now Timo, I mean, I love just sort of the cardboard pads. One of my favorite little quirks of his.
Face off to the left of Tomoyen. Puck played along the near side half wall and then flipped into the zone where it'll be picked up by Tommy Marvin. Bodies being thrown around already, though, here, Tyler.
Yeah, they are. I'm curious to see. There were some of the referees in the last game were a little nice on the whistle. You know, they were very lenient on the whistle. And, you know, seeing as how this is probably going to be a bit of a chippy game, I'm, interested to see if they let that play. I'm sure if they see.
Clemson tried to clear the zone there on the far side half wall, right next to the Clemson bench. That one's flipped into Parker Dietz. He'll glove that one like a catcher in the bullpen, and then he'll leave it for his Tiger defense pairing. That one's going to be sent the length of the ice. It was touched in the neutral zone, though, so no icing. Quick to it was Aiden Dunphy. And now skating out of there is Tommy Marvin. He tries to flip it cross ice. This will be icing if it goes the distance. It does. 3.5 minutes of elapsed time. 3 shots on goal from the Gamecocks, 2 shots on goal from the Clemson Tigers. But we remain scoreless. So face-off will come to the left of Tomoyan once more. Once again, if you're just joining us alongside Tyler Perrone, my name is Austin McConnell. We want to thank you for joining us here on Student Gamecock Television. Clemson versus South Carolina in Bon Secours Wellness Arena, home of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, the ECHL affiliate of the Los Angeles Kings. As possessions won by the Gamecocks but kept in at the blue line. And that's probably the second or third time we've seen the Gamecocks try and stretch the ice, go cross ice on their saucer passes.
Yeah, the Gamecocks are a really big fan of the dump and chase because of the speed they have on the skates, and they keep a lot of fresh guys. They line change a lot. Seeing it right now. But that really helps their dump and chase game. That's one of their primary modes on offense, is to beat the icing.
Shot there, blocked down by Dietz into the corner. Here's Kai Bonsukin, who gets tied up and double-teamed. Will Ralston has the puck now, flips it out to the neutral zone. Unable to handle it was Sully Kopf. So the Gamecocks will look to restart. Now skating across, pass just goes wide. Dietz might have gotten a glove on it. Great chance there from the Gamecocks. That's the best look we've seen yet. Shot there, looking for a deflection in front, goes off the blocker of Dietz. So racking up a couple saves here is Dietz. Cross ice again, there's another save. Rebound opportunity, it's still loose. And Clemson's gonna be able to clear. Now they've got a 2-on-1 back the other way. Good hustle by Flaherty to get back into the zone. Shot goes off the right-hand pad, or right leg pad, I should say. And now here's a 2-on-1 developing for Carolina. Great chance there. He got pushed from behind. That was Jake Pushkar, the captain. And so a couple good looks on both ends of the ice. Here is Pushkar once more. He tries to stuff it with the backhand. Clemson just trying to clear it. Unable to do so. Pushkar once more. He's tied up with the Clemson Tiger. John Riggins trying to help him out. Puck eventually comes out to Matt Wallace, who will clear the zone and exit stage left for a Clemson line change.
Yeah, and in that little exchange we saw there, that is the value of Parker Dietz in goal. He had, what, maybe 5 shots on goal in a span of 30 seconds? None of them go in. But the difficulty comes when you have to go through those flurries for 60 minutes of hockey. The first flurry, you know, cool, calm, collected. We'll see what else happens.
And we saw that in the first game back in October. I mean, Carolina was just peppering Parker Dietz. I mean, he's looking around. He's like, where's my help, guys? But he's a phenomenal goalie. Here's Nico Toshin in on alone, and a save made by Dietz again. And a little shove afterwards. That's not the last we're going to see of that today.
In fact, I'm surprised it's the first. We were talking a little bit earlier today about if this venue maybe will change some of the animosity of the rivalry, because as much as I do love the Plex, it's a bit of a lawless land. You know, Bon Secours, and even, I might even say the Gamecocks are outnumbered here. There's mostly orange in this fan section.
Definitely a large crowd. Definitely favoring Clemson just proximity-wise.
Of course.
It's about 40 minutes from Clemson University and about 90 minutes from Columbia, South Carolina. But these two teams, they'll meet each other anywhere. They do not care where they play. Weird bounce there off of Dietz. And Carolina is actually going to get a little possession here. Good deflection in front from Nico Toshin. That goes over the goal. Far side half wall. Scrum for it. Now comes behind the net. Dietz directs it aside. Clemson starts their breakout process, quarterbacked by number 21, Sean Concannon. Didn't really do much with it. Here's a turnover, and here's Carson Scove. Gamecocks get a few fresh legs on the ice. Clemson will do the same. Double team there is Garrett Albers First time we're calling his name tonight. Nice move there, shot off of Dietz. Thought he had it for a second, ended up fluttering into the corner. Another turnover in the Clemson zone. It is able to be cleared, and going after it will be Aiden Dumphy, who will quarterback this offensive possession from his own zone. Try to flip it across to Colin Reed, another very solid goal scorer. He's got 8 on the year from Marshfield, Massachusetts. The junior, so I'm sure the Gamecocks are very excited to see him for one more time next year.
Definitely. I mean, there are some names that we'll talk about throughout this whole broadcast. I mean, the Gamecocks, as dominant as they were this year, they went on a great late season run. They're going to be losing a lot of guys and a lot of talented guys. Some of the last lifeblood of that championship team, that AAU D1 championship team 2 years ago.
Clemson kind of the opposite as well. A lot of freshmen on this team. Keep in mind, they do have quite a few juniors and seniors, so upperclassmen. Definitely will be losing a couple guys, but going down the list, especially on the especially on the defensive side of the roster, you got about 2 seniors and a junior. The rest are sophomores or freshmen. So young talent coming up through the ranks for Clemson. And I'm sure the Clemson coach is happy to see that.
Most definitely. I mean, the Gamecocks, too, you can't sleep on them. They have people like Lucas Van Mullen, who took a shot in the Clemson zone.
Chance there in front. What a save by Tyler Tamoyan. I was looking down at my sheet. I look back up, and he's sprawling out, making a kick save. And this game remains scoreless. What were you saying, Tyler?
Sorry, no, it's all good. Please, absolutely. Tamoyan, got to give that man his flowers. He's been due, always is due. But I was going to talk about some freshmen coming up for the Gamecocks. We've been calling, Tashin's name a lot. Nico, he's only a freshman, as is Lucas Van Mullen, the 6'4", point magnet. He's got 10 points on the regular season, 4 goals, 6 assists. So I think the Gamecocks also, while they are losing a lot of guys who've won, there's not much to be afraid of. I think the team's in good hands.
Kai Bonsukin sends it across to Brendan Flaherty, who sends it back to Bonsukin. He'll pick up some steam headed through the neutral zone. Here comes Bonsukin down the left side. Got hit in the back, kind of hit the ice, but was able to get a pass out in front, deflected by Dietz. Sent across to Flaherty. Flaherty takes a shot. That goes off the right shoulder of Dietz. Gamecocks trying to settle down and get some good looks here. They already have 11 shots on goal. Their last couple have gone away and wide of the net. Tyler, true or false? I say Clemson has the size advantage, but we talked about the Gamecock speed earlier. Yeah. What's more important to you? As there's a stuff attempt there.
I mean, I would say it's speed, because it's far more likely that you're fast enough to get to the puck than your arms are long enough to reach it. And even then you'd rather have the balance on, say, a cross pass into the middle to get that. And I also think that makes the Gamecocks a lot better on, like we talked about, the forecheck. Even though they're not as big, they can't push around as much, they can get to the puck faster. And they can also get to the rebound faster, which I think we'll see a lot if we get another flurry of shots onto Dietz, is he can give up the rebound. He doesn't always squeeze the puck.
Coming through center here is number 17, Gus Hedrick. Puck kind of came into the Gamecock zone there. No real threat. Now, this could be potentially a threat there. Good defensive play by Brendan Flaherty, lifting the stick of Hedrick. Turnover for the Gamecocks. First one we've seen in their zone here today. And more trouble right in front of Tamoyan. He does not want to see that out of his goalie mask. He wants to keep things clean in front of him. As here is John Riggins, sending it across from Carson Scove. Scove with a nice crossover move to get back to the puck. There's that speed Tyler was talking about earlier. Nico Toshin tries to send that one out front. And there's the size from Jack Uvea. Back to the point it comes, though. Now sent down for John Riggins, who moves it right back to the point. Shot blocked there. And now Clemson's going to look to go back the other way. Skating after it was Kokla, but it gets to Tamoyan first. Look out. Toshin gave one kind of like a buddy pass to Jake Pushkar there. Or excuse me, that was David DuBois. First time we've called his name tonight. Nice pass there to Skove. He couldn't finish. Skove back across to DuBois, just out of his reach. Off the boards, Cascignano gets tied up along the half wall, gets turned over to Colby Carey. A couple more Clemson Tigers will touch the puck, and then they will successfully clear the zone as Kokla lost it for a brief moment. Kevin Arthur came to his aid to clean that up. But the Gamecocks get it right back. Touched by Tosh, and it'll head into the zone. No icing. Tyler, what were you going to say?
I was going to say Clemson's been doing a really good job of getting their stick in front of the puck, especially on defense. But I'm curious to see what happens when the Gamecocks go to their traditional 2 guys on the blue line, 1 screener, 2 rebounders kind of set. That's how they scored so many against Clemson the last time. Is sometimes they shoot without even wanting to get it into the goal. It's about getting it close to the goal.
Can't score if you don't shoot. That's what you're taught in juniors and peewee and 8U hockey. And, of course, if you're not shooting, the fans will definitely let you know, especially the rowdy ones in the crowd.
You mean the best ones?
The most entertaining, for sure. Puck's flipped out of the zone. Kind of looking for a deep ball there, and it's going to be a hand pass against Clemson. 13 shots on goal for the Gamecocks, 5 on goal from the Tigers. And we talk about a hot start. Gamecocks kind of don't always get off to the quickest start, especially finding that goal, you know, like in Charlotte, that game was on ESPN Plus, the 7:04 Outdoor Classic. They had about 13 shots in the first period, but it was scoreless after 1. It's hard for them to find the back of the net, but once they do, it opens up.
When it rains, it pours,
Absolutely.
and that's how it always has been for the Gamecocks.
No angle shot saved there. Sorry.
Because it takes them a little bit to get into a rhythm, and I don't really think that Coach Charrois has much of a problem with that, because it seems as though he's a big momentum coach, and this is a big momentum team.
Puck drop, point. Possession goes to Clemson. Flipped out of the zone. And Carolina will regroup. Garrett Albers tried to play one up ahead. Clemson blocked that one down. And now both teams will trade possession of the puck. Here's an opportunity. Good behind the back pass. Sends one back in front. Unbelievable chance there. Could not finish. Lucas Van Molen, it went off the top of his stick. Shot there, gets blocked. Off the stick of Tommy Marvin. By far the best look we've seen here today. Shot from the point from Colin Reed. Couldn't get too much on it, and Clemson heads back the other way. Good double team from the Gamecock defensive pairing. And now back the other way come the Gamecocks. Van Molen sends it down low, looking for a bottom corner shot. Savario Marcella. Couple more fresh legs for the Gamecocks here. Here is Marcella once again. Couldn't get a hold on it, but makes the most of his shift by laying the lumber. Another double team by the Gamecocks. Pressure has been very strong in the Gamecock zone defensively. There is a turnover there. Clemson looking for it. They'll turn it right back over. And here comes Ben Riccitelli, who dropped it off for Flaherty in full stride. And running into the ref there is George Clavin. And now Seamus Murphy. Leaves it for Bonsukin. Heel toe the line. Take a shot there. Glove down by Dietz. 5:36 remaining in this first period. We are still scoreless between the Gamecocks and Tigers inside Bon Secours Wellness Arena.
And incredibly different from our last matchup of these two. No penalties so far. Just a little bit of shove. I mean, always something to watch out for Carolina Clemson, but incredibly clean game being played so far.
Keywords, so far.
So far.
It's still pretty early. Puck tied up along the far side half wall. Tigers gain possession. Now it's played through the neutral zone, deflected back by Flaherty. He wanted none of that. Now Kai Bonsukin, he gets poke checked. And now good pass up ahead. Sent across. Good block there by Brendan Flaherty. 2 good defensive stands in the defensive zone by number 3 in white.
And that's what we talked about at the start of the game. Tomoyan didn't even have to stick anything out. You know, it didn't even get to the goal.
Oh, that was really close to too many men. Gamecocks, I think, only had 4 on the ice at the time, luckily, because that hit a skate as he was exiting the ice. Unfortunate timing for a line change, but we stay green on both sides.
Refs don't see it. It didn't happen.
Sit there and they score! Jake Pushkar, the captain. 1-0 Gamecocks.
That man already had the most points in club history. Add another to the tally. Jake Pushkar in his last ever game as a Gamecock, making his presence known. I mean, as he does every game. One of my favorite things about the Flex, which, you know, we're not in now, but sometimes if Jake Pushkar does something, you'll just hear push.
Who else but the captain to get them on the board early?
He shoots!
Now Clemson's going to look to answer here.
Your South Carolina
3 on
goal.
2, back the other way. Looking for a quick
Scored by
answer.
number
That one was
21,
deflected, and it goes out of play
Costinagno.
off the block of John Riggins.
With an assist from number 25, John Riggins.
I'm not sure if you heard the PA announcer there. That was Jake Pushkar who scored. They said Costinagno, who was involved with the play, but Pushkar credited the goal, his 11th of the season. Shot goes up high there, off of Pushkar's chest area. Now kind of just trading possession of the puck as it's flipped behind the Gamecock goal. Nice move there, sent across, good play by David DuBois. And now a 2-on-1 kind of developing here for the Gamecocks. Sent across, shot, good save, Dietz. We talked about the floodgates opening once the Gamecocks get that first goal. They're looking to do it again here. Another 2-on-1, cutting to the net, off the blocker. Great opportunity from Tommy Marvin there. Point blank, here's Carson Scove behind the net. Back up top to Marvin it comes. He'll try and play catch with Scove. Kind of choked him up in between the legs there. Big hit from Marvin. Puck still able to leave the zone. And another odd man rush back the other way for the Tigers. Close to being offsides there. Stripe says it's all good. Now Carson Scove dealing with a double team between the ref and the Clemson Tiger defenseman. Going after that one was Nico Toshin. Now that one's sent out in front. Puck is still loose in front of Dietz, but it comes out, and now here goes Clemson back the other way. Sent across to Di Bartolomeo. That's a mouthful.
That's a tough one.
Tie up in the corner. It comes to Nico Toshin. He'll head back the other way. He'll drop it off for Carson Scove, but it's just a little too antsy getting into the zone. Offsides the call. With 2:25 to go here in the first period.
I'm a big fan of how the Gamecocks have been using Tommy Marvin in the offensive zone. He's usually more of an assist guy. He's got 8 assists to 1 goal on the season, but we saw him rip a couple of deep shots. Now, like we've said about the Gamecocks offense, that may just be to get the puck closer to the goal, but some pretty solid velo from the young man.
So we might have an update. According to our roster, it is actually AJ Farisi who's in net and not Parker Dietz, according to our media assistant, Arelimar. Thank you for that. Sent down low looking for Bonsukin. Couldn't get that backdoor tap. So if we've been calling him Dietz, we apologize.
Yeah, there's some jersey stuff happening. I think that maybe some people are wearing their friends' clothes a little bit.
Puck in the neutral zone, battle for it here. It's won by Clemson for about a half second, and now Bonsukin has possession. He's got Marcella going with him. 3-on-2, shot off the post. I think he thought that went in for a second, and then he takes a big hit there along the boards. But here's a 2-on-1 for Clemson back the other way. Good block from Brendan Flaherty. 90 seconds to go in this opening frame. Clemson keeps it in the zone. Shot goes about 3 miles east of the net. And now bouncing puck goes almost over to Moyen. If you're just joining us, 1-0 is the score. Gamecocks lead. Shot there. It was almost 1-1 off the stick of Colby Carey. And now Clemson with some offensive pressure here in the Gamecock zone. Final minute in this first period. Van Molen content with flipping it in and exiting stage right for a line change. Now tie up right behind Farisi.
Almost went well for the Gamecocks. Yeah. The puck went to the right place.
Puck comes off the Gamecock bench. One more line change here for the Tigers in this opening frame. Now turnover. Cutting to the net. Oh, nice sneaky backhand opportunity there from Ralston. It comes right back to him on the right side. Shot from no angle sends that one off the glass. Puck sent down around the boards. 20 seconds to go now. Unable to be cleared out of the zone. Gamecocks content holding on to it, and then they'll just push it ahead. Also very close to too many men there, so both teams have been flirting with their first 2-minute minor penalty of the night. But as the time ticks off, 20 minutes down, 1-0 is your score. Gamecocks lead thanks to Captain Jake Pushkar. Tyler, what did you like most about the opening period there? Obviously, you see the Gamecocks with 21 shots on goal and Clemson 8. Is it the pressure? Is it the sustainability of the pressure? Well, what impressed you the most from either team this period?
Honestly, I would say that Clemson impressed me a lot just in terms of, we talked about the size. They have more size. They've been hitting a little more, and they've been getting to the puck quickly. Now that we know it's not Parker Dietz, AJ Faris playing well for someone who in the regular season only had 2 games played. I think that the defense of the Tigers has been great. But for the Gamecocks, like we said, when it rains, it pours. Also something to note, my note about people wearing their friends' clothes is in fact true. Number 6 and number 2 for the Gamecocks, which is Tommy Marvin and Aiden Dumphy, are actually kids pulled up from the D3 team to play today.
Okay.
Yeah, and that makes sense as to why I was like, Marvin doesn't usually shoot from the blue line like that. So that's something. But for the Gamecocks, I mean, they look really good with alternative personnel.
They do. I think that was a great first period from the Gamecocks. They were seeing the ice very well. And
New ice.
Huh?
New ice.
New ice. Yeah, new ice. Yes. Almost forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. This ice here at Bon Secours Wellness Arena is completely new. These two teams are the 3rd and 4th team to skate on it after the ECHL game today, obviously. But because the Greenville Swamp Rabbits were on a 30-day road trip due to the NCAA's women's tournament, and men's tournament as well.
Both.
So they had to take up the ice so that it wouldn't be wet or condensated on the court. Mm-hmm. And also many different concerts in the last weekend as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a busy arena, busy place. We're busy people ourselves. We'll be right back in about 3-ish minutes for the second period for Cock Hockey.
We want to thank the lovely Gamecock fan in our comments section who pointed out the roster move. Tyler, tell us the two who got called up from the D3 team for this great event.
Well, we got confirmation from the Gamecocks manager that the person wearing number 2 is Will Trainer from the D3 team, and wearing number 6 is Liam Forrest. So thank you to everyone for helping us get that correct. We want nothing but to give you the best, most accurate, and most entertaining broadcast we can, and how can you not in this great venue?
Bon Secours Wellness Arena. I'm going to be saying that all night, because if you're tuning into our game expecting the Plex, don't. It's Bon Secours Wellness Arena here in Greenville, South Carolina. The perfect middle battleground for this historic rivalry.
Yep.
So Clemson has come onto the ice with only 3 players. Their defensemen were not out there. But we're ready to get this second period underway. They're not cutting the ice. They're not repaving it because it is a Sunday night and these teams have to get home afterwards. 1-0 is the score at the end of 20 minutes. The other update from that first period, it's not Parker Dietz in goal. It is A.J. Farisi.
The man from Middleton looking pretty good, honestly. You know, in the stead of someone who's played most of the games, gotten most of the reps, that's Parker Dietz. Some would probably say, you know, their most stout goalie has been for the past couple of years, but letting the young guys eat a little bit. And I think it's a good game when to do that, when, you know, there's no postseason implications. This is a delayed game from January for those just now turning in.
Gamecocks now shooting left to right, Clemson the opposite. And here they will go right to left in this second period. Just off sides was Sean Keane for Clemson. 22 shots on goal from the first period for the Gamecocks, 8 from Clemson. But it's only 1-0, and we've got ourselves a great game here in Greenville. Jake Pushkar got the first goal of the evening for the Gamecocks. And the lone goal as well, as the puck comes behind Tamoy into Flaherty. Kind of a dangerous pass there coming out of the left, but it works out for him. And now John Riggins will chase after it, but beating him to the puck is Van Sicklin for the Tigers, who will play it out of the zone, and now Flaherty is going to race the other way for it. He sends it around to his partner, Kai Bonsukin, who gets pummeled from behind. Flaherty gives it back, and now we're starting to see the fireworks come alive here in the second period. Here's John Riggins, 2-on-1 developing for the Gamecocks. Saucered across, shot, save made by Farisi. Pushkar almost had himself a second goal. He was looking 5-hole on that one. But nothing doing as Farisi makes a great stop. And it remains 1-0. Farisi has a 1-0 record on the season as well. Came in a second game as a replacement, but in his starts, he's undefeated. And he started here today, so we'll have to watch out for that storyline as well. Turnover, here's Scove. Nice move, cutting to the net between the legs, almost goes in. He just sent it wide. That would have been a SportsCenter top 10 goal you see tomorrow morning.
Scove has been really active in the passing lanes this whole game. He just hasn't scored yet. I mean, he's looking for it. He's one of those guys that's really quick in and out, gets in and out of those alleys.
Puck deflected into the corner. Nico Toshin slams on the brakes, turns to the left. Skating with it now. Losing control of it. Good pressure from the Clemson forward, number 21, Sean Concannon. Here's number 21 for the Gamecocks. Koshignano. Always have trouble with his name. Carson Scove. Couldn't get a handle on it, so Clemson will try and retreat the other way. But at the end of the shift, unable to get a handle on it was Colby Carey, so the Gamecocks will have it back the other way. Here's Scove once more. He's been out there for a couple minutes now. Drops it off. Shot pad. Save made on Winkleblack. The first time we've called his name here tonight. Clemson back the other way. Slamming on the brakes is Troy Gouveia, who sends it down low for Brady Dumais. He's tied up with David DuBois. Now chance there for the Tigers, and a big save by Tamoy, and quick reaction to get back across the crease. That was a great opportunity, and it was almost a big stuff home from Will Ralston.
Yeah, really good possession from Tomoyan. Hugged that close post, got his knee pad right in there. Can understand why he's been the man in the goal for this dominant South Carolina team. Known for owning the state, but this is the Palmetto Cup. This is the one day, the one game that it comes down to. That 7-0 game in the regular season, what does that mean?
Bragging rights for sure. These two teams, they could be 0-70 each. But if you get that win over your rival, it's bittersweet. Both teams had a successful run in the playoffs. Tigers actually won their opening round, but then was eliminated by the Gamecocks as well. So the D3 team, excuse me, the D3 team. I do forget to differentiate sometimes. Good cross-ice pass there. Was blocked, and then a turnover from Will Traynor. Part of that D3 team called up for this game tonight.
Yeah, our apologies if there are any, weird things with player names, jersey numbers, things like that. Some people are wearing some different numbers. Happens.
Yeah, we're going off the rosters that we've been using all season. So, and I understand if there's a couple people who could not make it, if they expected the end of the season to be the end of their season. This is obviously a rescheduled game that was supposed to happen in January. Turnover here is Seamus Murphy. Could not get it through the legs of the Clemson defensemen as they head back the other way. And now chase after it here. Good opportunity for Riggins, and falling on it is Farisi. Now it's poked in the net, but the refs say no goal. It looked like Farisi was kind of sitting on it.
It did.
I think that's a good stoppage from the officials. So this game will remain 1-0.
Yeah, I'm slightly closer to the Clemson goal than Mr. Austin is, and it was pinched between the legs. I think that the additional contact after the whistle is what pushed that past the line. So, like you said, great call.
Face-off won by Sean Keane, the Tigers center. And now Gamecocks on the forecheck, trying to force Clemson to make another turnover in their defensive end. It's not going to happen this time. Back to the neutral zone they come. And picking up some speed. Try to flip it across. Here is Keane. Backhand opportunity. And a save made by Tomoyan. .33 here remaining in the second period. Gamecocks already up to 27 shots on goal. Face-off coming to the right-hand side of Tomoyan. Pushkar versus Wallace. Wallace wins that round. Puck down behind the goal. Tomoyan steered it aside. Now comes back out in front and they score! Alex Wallace ties the game up at 1.
I mean, it was just an unfortunate bounce. Tomoyan was looking at the rebound, left his 5-hole open, and straight through. Absolutely beautiful, and that's what you want if you're a Clemson Tiger fan. You usually see the Gamecocks capitalizing off the rebounds. Now, a taste of their own medicine, maybe.
His 5th point in the 13 games he's played in this season, his 3rd goal of the season, and it's a big one as the Tigers tie it up. Gamecocks now looking to answer in the Clemson zone. It comes out to Flaherty. Flaherty from the point will be content just flipping it in. Down to Riggins. Pushkar sends it back to Riggins, who backhands one off the boards to Flaherty. Flaherty tried to get a little deflection there. Got one off the end boards, and it had to be steered aside by Farisi. Puck deflected and out of play. Stoppage with 14:46 to go in the second period. That's what we were kind of talking about earlier. 27 shots on goal for the Gamecocks, 11 for the Tigers, yet we're tied at 1.
We are tied at 1. I mean, I think it's also just a difference of quality of looks. Had Clemson missed that shot, I mean, I think we'd be saying something entirely different, because to miss a perfectly open 5-hole off a rebound chance that you're probably not going to get that much off of a faster team, you know, it's great. And they definitely have momentum to build off of, but they got to keep it out of their own zone, which is Carolina's specialty, you know, staying in the offensive zone for minutes and minutes and minutes.
Bonsukin has it at the point now. Looking to deke his way down lower. He sends it down to Riggins, who sends it back to Bonsukin. No angle shot, just goes off the shoulder of Farisi. So another puck out of play. A couple fans going home with some souvenirs today.
Yeah, that's one thing I really like about this arena is, you know, you have the netting behind the nets, but netting behind the nets, a little redundant, but, you know, some good time for a souvenir. We saw a few pucks go awry in the Swamp Rabbits game as well.
3-2, the Jacksonville Icemen defeated the Swamp Rabbits. Jacksonville Icemen, the Buffalo Sabres affiliate, who are finally having a good year. They're going to look to make a cup run for the first time since 2011. So congrats to them.
The good old days.
And the LA Kings are trying to work their way into the playoffs. Centered down low. I don't know how Pushkar got behind the defense there. Between the legs, pass out in front.
I don't know how Farisi got in front of Pushkar.
Bonsukin makes a nice move along the far side half wall. It comes to Riggins, who has a little trouble with it, but moves it back to Carson Stickley off the knob of the stick from Farisi. That was very close to going in. Good cross-ice pass to Riggins. Shot, pad, save made. So as the defense was getting a line change for the Gamecocks, here comes Clemson back the other way. Nice move there from Kolkla. He gets tied up in the corner by DuBois. Now it comes out to number 21, Sean Kincannon. Backhand flipped up top, bouncing puck. Clemson will have to tag up. David DuBois across the Swamp Rabbits logo at center ice. Gets it taken away. And now Clemson will look to do something with it. Flipped out of the zone and a big odd man rush coming here. They had a 3-on-1, a little slow getting it going. No angle shot. Negative angle shot, I should say. That was behind goal line extended. But Clemson retains possession. And that goal has given them a little momentum, but the Gamecocks continue to retake the lead. Shot for the point there. Good save made by Farisi. He was screened by a couple guys. Now here comes Sully Kopp back the other way. He's got a teammate with him. That was Will Ralston. Puck went awry. And now here comes number 18, Carson Sco for the Gamecocks back the other way. Shifting his way through. Goes cross ice for a pass. And a shot off the backhand of Cascignano there. Now chance out in front. Nico Toshin had a good look at it, but still cannot find the back of the net. And some more fireworks on the other side there between Cascignano and that is Troy Gouveia exchanging some words. Off the line change, here's an opportunity for the Gamecocks again. Center down front, looking for the deflection, no good. Puck trying to be played up ahead by Kurta. Kurta's knocked off the puck for a brief moment, but here's Sean Keane, who had a great look earlier. But the lone goal scorer for Clemson is Alec Wallace, and the lone goal scorer for the Gamecocks is Jake Pushkar. Battle in front of the benches here, and now an odd man opportunity. Shot pad save by Farisi. Puck sent back out in front, another save. Some good looks there from the Gamecocks, but a little snake bitten as they have yet to find the net here in the second period.
They are tripling up the Tigers in terms of shots on goal. Really, this is kind of the story that we see every single game between these two, or at least in the past few years. It's a matter of what goes in and what doesn't.
Face-off won by the Gamecocks. Garrett Albers. Give him the winning stat on that one. Bouncing puck, still bouncing between a few skates. Now here is Albers again entering on the left side. He gets hit into the boards hard by Matt Wallace. Offsides, delayed offsides that is, as a little slow getting to the benches. Garrett Albers, he's going to kind of limp his way through the door. That was a big hit from Wallace.
One of the few we haven't seen a whole lot of checks today.
Yep. Good speed down the right-hand side. Fanning on it, though. You didn't realize the puck came off his stick. That was Di Bartolomeo. gonna make sure I get all the syllables in that one. Puck comes across, looking for Clavin. It was just out of his reach. Halfway through the second period, also halfway through the game, we remain knotted up at 1 apiece. The next goal could be a big one, Tyler.
It definitely could, and I wouldn't be surprised if, these teams get tired quickly. They have sort of these, shortened periods between periods. Another double word from me. But yeah, these teams aren't as rested as they usually are when they play at the Plex or at a traditional game because, like we said, trying to speed things up a little bit on this Sunday night.
Shot there, almost got all the way through. Good. Again, Farisi was screened, so good job getting the pad on that one. A little miscommunication there between Seamus Murphy and Ben Riccitelli. But the puck stays in the zone off of Riccitelli's shins. He's going to go to work for it. Flaherty picks up the loose puck, sends it off the outside of the net. 3 Clemson Tigers there. They're eventually going to clear it out. Puck doesn't get all the way down. It's definitely going to be choppy after not cutting the ice during intermission. Shot there, just goes left of the net. That's Liam Forrest, another one of those D3 call-ups.
Yeah, and he's been getting the puck a lot today.
Yes,
he's been shooting the puck a lot, too. That's why when we first thought it was Tommy Marvin, I was a little,
Now we've got some action there right in front of the Clemson bench. A couple guys tied up. It looks like a UFC grappling event. It's Carson Stickley, and then I can't tell who that Clemson Tiger is. I believe it's Matt Franco. Kind of wrestling each other there. Refs blew it dead to separate them. And it looks like we're going to get a call against the Gamecocks. Our first penalty of the day. Carson Stickley heading to the box. It looks like it's either going to be for a hold or probably roughing. So huge opportunity here for the Tigers to take their first lead of the day as they got the first man advantage of the day.
Yeah, and this is one of the aspects of this Gamecock team that sometimes comes back to bite them. They get a lot of penalty minutes. But they're also really good when down a man, which is strange. But sometimes it seems like their prerogative.
So a little bit of catch along the half wall before Clemson goes into their power play. Flaherty trying to send that one out of the zone quickly. And now bouncing puck there. Oh, my goodness, just goes wide. Couldn't find it for a minute, neither could Tamoyan. He was on his behind trying to get up in the crease. Good defensive play from the Gamecocks. Here's Bonsukin chasing after it. He's going to clear it the length of the ice, or about half of it, at least into the Clemson zone. Slamming on the brakes is Ralston. Ralston will dump it back into the Carolina zone. Flaherty says, thank you very much. I'll send it back your way. And now at the other end of the ice, John Riggins kind of cherry picking there a little bit. Tries to make a move. Regardless, this is going to kill some time down in the Clemson zone. Battling for the puck in the neutral zone. Kopf couldn't get anything on it. John Riggins with a monster forecheck. Back the other way. 2-on-0. Sent across. Right back in a great defensive play from Jack Gavea. But we are going to get a penalty call. It looks like it's going to be against Clemson. Jack Gavea with a great stick lift, and then he absolutely cross-checked John Riggins there. Well, golden opportunity for the Gamecocks.
I think he may have just been trying to get Riggins back for what we saw at center ice. That was monster.
Yeah.
That was straight robbery from John Riggins. He said, no, it's my puck.
So, yeah, they had John Riggins and then also Carson Scove kind of playing catch right there. And as they sent it back for Riggins, his stick gets lifted. And then he gets put down on the cross-check. So it'll be 4-on-4 for a little bit. For about 33 seconds. And then the Gamecocks will have about 87 seconds of a man advantage. 7:19 to go here in the second period. 1-1 remains our score. David DuBois will take the puck at the blue line. sends one at the goal, and it's squeezed tight across the Tigers, written across the chest of Farisi.
I've been really impressed with Farisi so far. You know, we usually see Parker Dietz in goal. In fact, he was playing so well with one of those kick saves in the first period. We thought, oh, maybe that must be Parker Dietz. Really good play out of all of the different alternates or people who don't usually see as much play on both sides of the puck, because both teams, because of scheduling and whatnot, are playing a little different than usual.
Well, if you're Casey Brown of the Clemson Tigers head coach, you are absolutely loving having two goalies that play very well in their tandem. Final few seconds of the Gamecock penalty wearing off. Clemson had a chance here. They still do. Puck's out in front. Rebound. Unbelievable save from Demoyen. On his side, flashes the leather and makes the save.
He had kick save to the right, kick save to the left, and then pop into his glove.
It's like he knew it was coming. He didn't try and get back up and get back into position. He just said, I'm going to watch this through. And he snags it out of the air.
And that's one of the things that makes Demoyen really great is, you know, as a goalie, you never really want to be on your back, but sometimes he's comfortable and effective.
He's made a couple saves from that position tonight. Face-off won by the Gamecocks. They are now on the power play for about 1 minute and 15 seconds. And so their first man advantage of the night. Clemson with a great look at the end of that 4-on-4 there. Flaherty trying to deke his way. He was knocked off by Carey. The lone goal scorer of the night for the Gamecocks, Jake Pushkar, moves it to John Riggins, who moves it up to Bonsukin, who gives it to Riggins, and now I can't keep up with the quick passing that the Gamecocks are showing here in the Clemson zone. Sent at the net, and Farisi hangs on.
Well, that's their specialty, and we saw Jake Pushkar sort of camping in front of Farisi as the screener. They like to do that a lot. The Gamecocks will siphon the puck around the perimeter as much as they can until they get a cutter close to the net, and then they have sort of a double screen because they usually have a parked screener, and they're going to look for either a far shot or that incoming man cutting to get a goal.
Face-off coming to the glove hand side of A.J. Farisi, the freshman from Middletown, Massachusetts. And now skating after it, here's some speed from Wallace, who has the lone goal for Clemson, who tied it up earlier in this period. Now here come the Gamecocks back the other way. Bonsukin far side. He cuts to the middle. Now he leaves it for Skove, who got it blocked by a Clemson defender. Now double team here. 20 seconds to go on the man advantage for the Gamecocks. John Riggins, near side half wall, tries to send it across. It's deflected into the corner. Up top to Bonsukin. Bonsukin sends it down to Flaherty. He gives it back to Bonsukin. Stepping in and shooting, just goes wide. Pushkar quick on the rebound to Riggins. Deflected in front. Good opportunity there. Bouncing puck.
There's Carson Skove in front of the goal again, man. I mean, they've been using him as a screener all night. It's going to fall eventually.
So end of the Gamecock power play, where we are back to 5-on-5. Here is Carson Skove once more. Good backhand pass across to Kashignano, who tries to make a move. Big collision there. Skove on the rebound and stuff attempt. Save. Another save made. Stacking the pads is A.J. Farisi. Now Kashignano tries to flip it into the zone and comes off the Clemson defender and out into the neutral zone. But regrouping, here's David DuBois. Leaves it for Riggins. Riggins tries to send it across, looking for another deflection. We've seen that a lot here in the second period.
Skove just took a long shift and finally just changed.
Stripes just fell into the bench after the hit by Kashignano. Back the other way. Here's Nico Toshin. Drops it back for Stickley and a save by Farisi. Bunch of good looks here from the Gamecocks. Gamecocks just hit 40 shots on goal, and we're not even in the third period yet. Some more collision along the boards. DuBois gets it poked away. Here's number 11, Sully Kopf. He couldn't hang on to it. Now bodies are flying everywhere. Starting to look like a rivalry game. What? Brady Dumais and David DuBois tied up, and now up ahead for Van Mullen. He's just offsides. There was a lot going on at like 3 different spots on the ice there.
Jenga, as we like to call it.
Yeah, chaos, melee, whatever you would like to call it. 3:44 to go here in the second period. 1-1 remains our score. And that's the chippiest. He's just off sides. There was a lot going on at like 3 different spots on the ice there.
Jenga, as we like to call it.
Yeah, chaos, melee, whatever you would like to call it. Or I think Riggins is just coming over to confirm a couple things with the stripes. I get it. There was a lot to clean up there, but headed to the box for Clemson is number 20, Brady Dumais, the freshman, also from Massachusetts. And so the captains will meet at center ice and discuss with the officials what that's all about. But it looks like a 2-minute power play for the Gamecocks after just getting off one where they had a bunch of good looks is in the works.
Yeah, and, you know, only 3:44 left in the period. Can I make a bold prediction, Austin?
Go right ahead.
Next score wins.
Ooh. It does appear it's turning out to be that way.
I mean, yeah, the last time we were around this point of the game for a Carolina-Clemson game, I think Carolina was up probably about 4 at this point in time. So the resilience of these Tigers, and we'll especially see as they combat the power play, has been impressing me.
Slap shot there from Flaherty. Looked like Alex Ovechkin in his office, but he couldn't get the stick on it. Gamecocks retain possession in the offensive zone. Puck sent around the boards to John Riggins. So that first power play unit back out there for the Gamecocks. Flaherty keeps it in. Bonsukin at the far side half wall. Got that one deflected. Puck played by a high stick, so Tomoyne's going to have to play it. On the forecheck there was Matas Kurta. And now we get a stoppage in play.
Yeah, back in the Clemson zone, really good clear from Gus Hedrick. And, you know, that's one of their older guys. That's not one of their older guys. I was looking at Jacobelli, who's right next to him on the list. Gus Hedrick, a freshman from Sun Valley, Idaho. Not really a hockey state, but great defensive play. Great for the Clemson PK, which they're going to need if they want to, you know, mount something serious here.
75 seconds remaining in the man advantage. Riggins enters at the blue line, makes a nice move. He's got a clear path to the net, sends it across, back out in front, and the Gamecocks just cannot put it home on the doorstep. Behind the net, here's Pushkar with it. Bonsukin across to Riggins. Riggins down to Pushkar, spins and tries to flip one near side over the left shoulder of Farisi, but he hangs on. And he's now made 40 saves tonight on 41 shots. Pretty impressive.
We've only played one game?
Yeah.
Whoa. That's usually what happens to the Clemson goalie in this matchup, though. We talked about it at the start of the game. We talked about it in the open.
Yep. Tie up at the face-off dot. Eventually won by the Gamecocks. Bonsukin towing the line. Gives it to Riggins. Back to Bonsukin. Sends one at the net. Blocker save goes right up in the air. Knocked out and out of the zone after it goes over the stick of Bonsukin. And it's been now 40 minutes of ice time where this ice has not been smooth or cut. They had a 5-minute intermission between the first and second period. I assume they're going to do the same thing again as we're coming up on 7:47. It's going to be pretty late by the time they get out of here. They got to get to the locker room, get dressed, load the buses, and then travel back, especially the Gamecocks, with about 90 minutes of travel time. Clemson's not too bad, about 40 minutes away.
Good luck for those players who have an 8:30 Monday.
Back to full strength, cross-ice pass. Here it comes to Riggins. Riggins takes a shot, just missed that right-hand corner. Full strength here.
Really effective penalty kill for the Tigers. We've been talking about how their defensemen this whole game have been sort of outperforming some previous matchups between these two teams. And this Gamecock team, they have 42 shots on goal. To, you know, only let up 3 more on the power play from where they first were.
And I'm not sure what's going on here. Well, we've got fireworks here in Greenville.
I'm assuming
and that doesn't look like the end of it. Down on the ice, is that Seamus Murphy? I cannot tell. There's a Gamecock down who looks like he probably either got cup checked or hit. I'm not sure what's going on here. Well, we've got fireworks here in Greenville.
I'm assuming
and that doesn't look like the end of it. Down on the ice, is that Carson Scove came to avenge his teammate as number 21, Sean Concannon, headed to the box for Clemson. And Carson Scove, after getting what would be called the instigator penalty, is headed to the box for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, this is, you know, it's been a really, really great year for Kai Bon-Suk, and this is really his first year starting. He's only a sophomore at the school. You know, you don't want to see people go down like that, especially in a big rivalry game like this, but he seems to be all right.
Colby Carey has also stepped into the box for Clemson, so at the moment it looks like Gamecocks will get a 2-minute power play. 1:06 to go here in the second period. Officials discussing in a huddle once more. Captains for Clemson and South Carolina awaiting the official determination of the calls here. But there's 2 Tigers in the box and 1 Gamecock, so I assume by process of elimination that Gamecocks will have another 2-minute man advantage.
One of my favorite things to watch during these little scrums is the goalies, because they're just standing. Tamoyan standing, Farisi on his knee. They can't do anything. They're not going all the way over there to go back to the goal. Are you kidding me?
Imagine we got a goalie fight. How about that? That would be awesome.
This is the matchup.
Yep.
If there's any matchup.
Very true, very true. We see a lot of SEC rivalries between Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee. Obviously Clemson with North Carolina and Coastal Carolina, another in-state battle. Florida State as well. But nothing compares to the Palmetto Cup.
Earlier I heard someone say this is one of the biggest rivalries in the state. One of.
It's the.
It's the rivalry in the state. I mean, no other rivalry in South Carolina would bring people to a neutral site, to an arena, to stay after a game they already had to pay for. I mean, it's a nice perk, but shout out to everyone here at Bond Secours for making it the best atmosphere. It always is.
So it looks like the officials, Gamecocks will get a 5-on-4. With 1:06 to go here in the second period. So half of it will be in this middle frame, and then the Gamecocks will start the third period with about 54 seconds of man advantage time, assuming nothing happens in these final 66 seconds.
Don't assume, Austin.
You never can with these 2 teams. Okay, so Ethan Callahan has been given a double minor for Clemson, so it'll be a 4-minute power play for the Gamecocks here. Huge opportunity to retake this lead heading into the final frame. Riggins sends that one at the net. That got blocked. Dancing with it now, sends it cross ice again for Riggins. Riggins has 6 goals this season. Shot scores! Carson Stickley, quick out in front. And just like that, the Gamecocks go back up 2-1 late in the middle frame.
What a look.
6 goals this season. Shot scores! Carson Stickley, quick out in front.
If I have to put money on it now, because I said I would, I guess I have the 1 quarter in my wallet on the Gamecocks.
Balling on a budget, eh, Tyler?
I'm not even balling.
6th goal of the season for Carson Stickley, and you're exactly right. I was looking down to give you a stat about John Riggins scoring so much this season, and then very quickly, Stickley finds the back of the net. It was just too quick for Farisi to react. Goes over his blocker side And it's 2-1 Gamecocks with 20 seconds to go here in the second period. Back through the neutral zone. 3-on-2 developing. Reagan sends one at the net. Rebound opportunity in front. Just goes off the knob of the stick. Carson Stickley almost had a second one in the last 30 seconds. Shot sent towards the cage. Time runs out. And we're headed back to intermission. And it looks like they will pave the ice here. So 15 minutes on the clock. That's when we will return for some more of the Palmetto Cup, the final frame of regulation. 2-1 your score. Gamecocks lead over the Tigers, and we'll see you in about 10 minutes or so.
Fading the graphic, then we're going to go to you.
Cast booth, everybody. My name is Austin McConnell, alongside my great friend and partner, Tyler Perrone. Tyler, it's been a very fun game so far.
Has.
A tighter game than what we saw back in October.
Tighter game than I'd say we're kind of used to for this whole series. I went back in the records as far as I could, which was about 6 years, and in all of those years, Clemson has only defeated Carolina, these two teams, not the D3 team, once. That was in November of 2022, and you wouldn't think that watching this matchup. I mean, this Clemson team has seen 44 shots on goal. How many have they let up?
2.
Yeah, really, really good play from, I can't say the fill-in goalie, Farisi, because he's had time in the season, but it's usually Parker Dietz who we see in the net, and you wouldn't really notice a difference. I mean, it might change a tad because I believe the Gamecocks start next period on a power play, but really good, really close game so far.
The Gamecocks will have almost a full 3 minutes of power play. They scored on that double minor, but because it's a double, can't come out of the box for it. So Gamecocks with a great opportunity to go up by 2 here to start the third period, which will be up in about 16 minutes. But we're going to step aside for a brief moment, and we'll get you back here before the third period starts. So don't go anywhere. You're watching the Palmetto Cup on SDTV. Back here in Secours Wellness Arena in Greenville, South Carolina, alongside my great friend and partner, Tyler Perrone. I am Austin McConnell. We've got a 2-1 game headed into the third period here in just a couple of minutes. Tyler, what is the key to the third period? How do the Gamecocks protect the lead? And how does Clemson get back to an even match?
Well, this is going to sound really simple, because it is really simple. When you look at, just raw numbers, 44 shots on goal versus 13 shots on goal, you would think the Gamecocks should be up 5, 6, 7, 8, however many goals you would think. That differential is really crazy. I would say Gamecocks just keep playing the same, get quick line changes, move the puck, and keep shooting, because you've done that all game and it's worked well. You're up. For Clemson, though, I would say that you have to be a little more active in the offensive zone. Pass the puck more, go for some more long shots. They're only kind of playing close to the net, which is fair, because the one goal they did get was on kind of a lucky rebound, but defensively, I have nothing to say about Clemson.
Yeah, Jake Pushkar and Carson Stickley, the two goal scorers for the Gamecocks here tonight. And then the lone goal scorer for Clemson is Alex Wallace. Third period's coming up in just about a minute, and we will see you on the other side of it. And look at that, we're on the other side of it. Third period set to get underway here in about 45 seconds. Clemson retaking the ice. Tyler Tamoyan standing with aura in the hallway for the Gamecocks, and out they come. AJ Farisi, Tyler.
Yeah, man.
He has been amazing tonight. 42 saves on 44 shots, and we still have 20 minutes of play left, at least.
Yeah. If you are a Clemson fan, I think that you should feel very, very comfortable with the hands of AJ Farisi, because this man's only a freshman. This is his, third game of the season? It's maybe his biggest game of the season, and he's performing greatly. Similar thing to be said for the Gamecocks, too. Great goalie play out of Tyler Tamoyan, but he's a senior. What's going to happen next year when they got to go to Mason Shea, Brady Campbell, other people like that? Stout in their own right, but Tamoyan has that pedigree, and it will be tested starting in just a few seconds as the clock hits 0 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, we are set to get underway. First period was pretty calm. Second period saw a goal from each squad and some fireworks as well. Gamecocks will be starting this third period with a 2-minute and 54-second power play. That was because of the double minor from Colby Carey. Absolutely cheap shot against Kai Bonsukin. Bonsukin fell down to the ice. It was a little slow getting up, but he's on the right side of the bench here and will be starting with this first and very aggressive power play unit for the Gamecocks, looking to continue that offensive prowess.
Yeah, and it's not even your traditional power play. It is 5-on-4 for the Gamecocks. 4-on-3 for the Gamecocks. No, 5-on-4, I was right. There was just a hidden tiger. 5-on-4 for the Gamecocks for the next 54 seconds before it goes back to your traditional 6-5 power play. Once again, still in favor of the Gamecocks.
Also in the box for Clemson is number 21, Sean Concannon, the freshman. And then in the box for the Gamecocks for roughing is number 18, Carson Skov, who is a senior. So 5-on-4, like you said, Tyler, you're exactly right. Gamecocks will be shooting right to left, Clemson left to right. 2-1. And a pretty solid crowd on hand here for a Sunday night. If you're just joining us, the Greenville Swamp Rabbits and the Jacksonville Icemen played before this. 3-2, the final score from the Icemen. 2 goals in the final minute. A great game there, and it looks like we've got a great one here. And here we go. Third period underway in the Palmetto Cup. 20 minutes of regulation time left to decide who's going to be taking it home. Puck's cleared the length of the ice, and they did pave the ice at intermission, so Gamecocks will start with a fresh sheet of ice. Very lovely if you're in the white, black, and garnet. Chasing after now is Bonsukin. He is absolutely hounded by number 11, Solikov. Great on the forecheck. Clemson looking to come out strong and take care of the final 2 minutes and 15 seconds of this power play.
Clemson's looked much stronger on the forecheck in general than they have in most of our past matchups that we've covered, I would say. That's probably the main key difference for the scoring.
Save made on Pushkar.
For the scoring deficit between these two teams. We've mentioned it over and over again, but last time, 7-0 Gamecocks. It's a much different and I would say much better, easier to call game for us.
Kai Bonsukin hit the ice earlier. That's what the penalty led to. He's got the puck now here. Was able to shake it off. He glides his way in very methodically into the zone. He's going to get tripped up. No call coming. Gamecock bench wanted one. Not going to get it. Gamecocks getting a quick line change here. 1:20 remaining.
Yeah, Clavin came just in time off of the line change to get to that puck.
Here is Clavin with it behind the goal. He moves it up top to Kashignano. Slap shot deflected in front off Seamus Murphy. And he had another follow-up chance there, but Farisi shut the door. Over to Kashignano again. Sent across for Seamus Murphy. Just way too hard of a pass. Puck getting swatted at and throwing it like a frisbee out of there was Sean Keane. And it's going to work out in favor for Clemson as there was a shot from Kurta. Just went high. So Clemson doing a great job killing off this Gamecock power play. Back the other way, though, here's Clavin and Murphy. Setting up an odd man rush. Shot there from Murphy off the blocker. He picks up his own rebound. He'll send it all the way around to the far corner. Tie up along the far side half wall. Here's Kurta again. Knocked off the puck by Clavin. Over to DuBois it comes. DuBois takes a shot deflected in front and off the pad of Farisi. DuBois tries to play it back into the Clemson zone. Rolling puck, unable to clear it. And now here come the Gamecocks once more. That was Van Molen cutting to the net. Got it poked away by number 26, Will Van Sicklen. Shot there, never got all the way to Farisi. Deflected puck by Sean Keane. Puck still loose in the corner. Now it comes into Clemson possession. Penalty has been killed, so we're back to 5-on-5. 3 fresh legs for the Clemson Tigers. Here's Van Molen. Nice move between the legs. He'll send it back to where he came from. DuBois tried to send it back to him down low. And both teams just trying to get a full possession of the puck right here. Deflected in the neutral zone, no icing. Chasing after it is Matt Franco. Getting to it was Colin Reed, but he had to pay the price for that one. DuBois has it on the near side half wall now, trying to flip it up and clear the zone. Unable to do so. Kept in by Matt Wallace, who sends it down low. Colin Reed takes the handoff from Tamoyan. And that would have been an icing if it didn't hit the linesman, so lucky bounce for the Gamecocks. He'll be able to get a change. Arid pass, Van Molen after it. I'm now mixing up Van Sicklen and Van Molen. And Van Crime. Back the other way, here comes Matt Wallace cutting to the net. He couldn't hang on to it. Colin Reed will poke at it into the far corner to the right of Tamoyan. Puck comes to Tamoyan once more. He's going to play it around the boards. There's Carson Stickley. He's got a goal tonight. He scored his 6th goal of the season. And now back the other way comes Jake Pushkar, who had the 1st goal for the Gamecocks tonight. Flipping it down low for Aiden Dunphy, a great opportunity. Or excuse me, that is Will Trainer. And now a chance out in front, they score! Jake Pushkar, 2nd of the game. And a weird bounce. Here comes Jake Pushkar, who had the 1st goal for the Gamecocks tonight. Flipping it down low for Aiden Dunphy, a great opportunity. Or excuse me, that is Will Trainer. And now a chance out in front, they score!
And once again, the goal gets pushed further and further away. Pushed, indeed, as Jake Pushkar once again just added to that tally of having the most points in club history for the Gamecocks. A storyline we, looked into coming into this game, but with only 3 goals scored by the Gamecocks, having 2 points in there is is something.
Puck comes back into the Gamecock zone. They will lead by 2, just over 5 minutes into this third period. An insurance goal, to say the least. Here's Will Trainer, who lost it. It comes back into the zone. Will Trainer, one of those called up to replace Aiden Dunphy from that D3 team. Another one called up was Liam Forrest. He wears number 6 for the Garnet and White. Clemson considered the home team here in Greenville, being the closest proximity-wise, so they're in their home purple and orange. Gamecocks in their road whites. As there's a chance out front, another one looking for the Gamecocks. 50 shots on goal, 47 saves from Farisi.
Good forecheck, Carson Scove, to keep the possession for the Gamecocks, too.
Quick pass to the center. Another bouncing puck. Here's Bonsukin with a chance. Sent off the skate of Dumais. Now Clemson going to try and clear the zone here. As Tyler just mentioned, great forecheck from the Gamecocks. They've had the puck, or the ice tilted to start this third period, to say the least. Bonsukin trying to skate back through center. Nice play off the boards to himself. Odd man rush here. Back across, shot save. Rebound opportunity off the side of the net. Sent the length of the ice. And taking his time getting back to it is Bonsukin. Icing called. 13:32 to go here in the third period. Good save there by Farisi, and I've said that probably a lot tonight because he's made a lot of saves.
It's been hard to not say that. He's had 51 shots taken on him and only let up 3.
Clemson with only 13 shots on goal, so Tomoyan 12 out of 13 in between the pipes. Little bored to start this third period, though. Face-off won by Carolina. Shot there from Stickley. He's got one of the 3 goals for the Gamecocks tonight. John Riggins hits the deck in the corner. Sean Keane was all over him. Quick shot there from Stickley. He wants some more. He's been all over the ice tonight. It's probably his 4th or 5th good attempt. And he's got the puck here again. He'll send it down low to John Riggins behind the net, who takes it to the near side half wall. Moving it back up top. Slamming on the brakes and then trying to shoot at it. Deflected there again by Stickley. Like I said, all over. Creating screens, deflections. Giving the Clemson Tigers a headache. Puck turned over in the zone and then hit from behind is Flaherty. Gamecocks keep it in the zone, though. Stickley with it once again. Moves it to Riggins, who sends it down low. Pushkar was on the back door, almost had a hat trick. It was just a couple inches away. Bonsukin hits the deck. Still wins possession. A couple shots from DiBartolomeo. Now Riggins trying to get away from pressure now. He'll do just that. Skating across the Greenville Swamp Rabbits logo at center ice here at Bonsecours Wellness Arena. Shot save made by Farisi. 12:09 to go in the third period.
I mean, it was saved, but Riggins is just so good in the open ice. I mean, he makes a push by himself.
Skating across the Greenville Swamp Rabbits logo at center ice here at Bonsecours Wellness Arena. Shot save made by Farisi. 12:09 here in the Palmetto Cup here in Greenville, South Carolina. And a good game on hand as well. First one of the year back in October ended with a Gamecock touchdown and extra point. 7-0 victory. This one, the Gamecocks have had to work a lot harder against this hungry Clemson team.
And also, I mean, both of those teams were so different back then.
Correct. Seamus Murphy tries to drop it back to Coscigliano. Puck's going to come out of the zone. Now another good forecheck here by Riccitelli. Won't cause the turnover yet, but now a tie-up along the half wall might lead to one. But skating away with it is number 21, Sean Kincannon, who moves it out wide. He's going to get it back here. Kind of an awkward reception as the puck goes into the zone, and he's going to go cross ice for a line change. Puck sent around to Murphy. Knocked along the half boards by Matt Franco. Still battling there for the Tigers. Puck comes back out in front. Kashignano was not ready for it. Puck towing the blue line. Finally, it's cleared. Good effort from George Clavin. And then Riccitelli had it for a brief moment, but it's a turnover. Looking to stretch the pass to Owen Connors. Goes off the end of his stick. Now there's another tie-up along the boards. In the corner to the glove hand side of Tamoyan. Doing all the work there is Will Trainer, who's had an impressive day coming up from the D3 to the D2 squad. Shot down low, bounces to Tamoyan. He's going to lay out for it and cover it up. Halfway through this third period, 3-1. Your score, the Gamecocks lead.
Tamoyan's been playing really well, you know, despite... We've talked about the shot disparity all day. I don't know if I want to talk about the shot disparity anymore. But yeah. Tamoyan, as always, pretty rock solid. I mean, he got caught by a dribbler that bounced off the back wall and then rebounded 5-hole, but he's kind of past that.
Shot goes off the shoulder of Tamoyan there. Will Trainer evading pressure. Got it to Gary Albers, who got tied up, but Van Mullen will come and help him out there. Puck played into the corner behind Farisi. Now miscommunication there with the Gamecocks, but they do get possession, but then it's turned over. And now Troy Guvea has the puck coming, screaming down the left side, just can't get a full possession on it. He's stood up by Colin Reed. Good defensive positioning there for the Gamecocks. Up top to Marcella. Marcella will quarterback the breakout as they come back through center. The lefty takes it behind Farisi. Tries to shoot it, and it's blocked down in front, covered by Farisi.
Less than 10 minutes left in the game, a 2-goal deficit, and like we've said the whole day, I don't necessarily know if I expected the game to go this way. You know, new ice, new players, new energy. I mean, you never know what to expect when you come and see hockey. A neutral site, and that's, I think, what makes hockey so special, especially for a place where you don't expect it to be as electric as it is, in the Carolinas.
Bonsukin knocked off the puck there. Coming to his aid is Winkleblack, who turns it over now, and here's Sean Keane back the other way for the Tigers. Sean Keane looking for somebody to go with him. He takes a shot, but Tamoyan squeezes the glove over his head. Makes his 14th save of the day.
I think that may have gone over the goal anyway, but really nice snag to just stop it. Plus, why chance the rebound?
Face-off won by Carson Scove. Gamecocks have tilted the ice, but they've also tilted the face-off dot as well. They are probably around the 70% mark win rate-wise. That sent the length of the ice. It will be an icing, so we'll get another one back in the Carolina zone. Sean Keane versus Carson Scove on the glove hand side of Tamoyan. Near side, it's won by the Tigers. Bouncing puck goes off a couple defensemen. Puck is sent the length of the ice again. A little bit closer as Nico Toshin gave the Clemson defenseman a run for his money. But getting back in time was Matt Wallace. And his brother, Alex Wallace, the lone goal scorer tonight for the Clemson Tigers. He tied it up at 1 in the middle of that second period there. But since then, Carson Stickley gave them the lead back, and Pushkar gave them a little bit of insurance. Face-off won by Clemson. Shot goes wide of the net. Slapping at the puck. Trying to clear it out. Bonsukin tried to lay the boom on number 15, Sean Steck. Flaherty has it now. He moves it over to Nico Toshin. Riggins was in behind the defense, but didn't have quite the angle. He's still going to get the puck here anyways. Riggins across to Tashin, just couldn't get it tape to tape. Clemson causes the turnover, but they'll give it right back in a couple of line changes and some fresh legs for the Tigers. 7:51 to go. Bonsukin gliding down the left side. He's going to try the wraparound. Oh, great opportunity, but Farisi stuck the left pad out. Lost his stick. He's going to get it back with some help. But a big save there by Farisi.
Well, and there was a minute there where we thought Bonsukin might not be able to play the rest of the game. He was on the ground for a minute in the second period. So to see him with a diving shot attempt just shows the grit this guy has.
Shot blocked there by the Gamecock defenseman. I believe that was John Riggins. Now here's Jake Pushkar back the other way with some speed. He's going to go behind the net. No wraparound attempt this time. Riggins takes it. Evades a hit. That could have been way worse than it actually was. Kashignano. Shot blocked in front by Sean Keane. Excuse me, Gus Hedrick. Tie up in the corner. Gamecocks win possession. Bouncing puck behind Farisi comes to the near side corner. Big hit there from Stickley. Puck won by Kolkla. He's just going to flip it out. The exit stage left for a line change. Back the other way comes John Riggins. Riggins, a shot got blocked there in front. Good defensive play by Hedrick. Now body's falling behind Farisi. DuBois going to try and be on the forecheck. Came back to Kashiano, but he couldn't keep it in the zone. So he's going to evade pressure. Blew a tire, went down, had to get back up. And then he flips it to John Riggins, who tries to throw a reverse check. Puck kept in the zone just barely. Stickley now has it and flips it out. Now Pushkar's off to the races. He's got a great opportunity here. He's got John Riggins coming with him on the left side. He tried to get it to him, nothing doing. Pushkar sends it back to the net. Farisi hangs on.
Good defensive play by Matt Wallace on the Clemson side to get his skate on the puck. If you see that centering pass, that's kind of where the Gamecocks eat. That's where they ate against Clemson in their last matchup. It just kind of seemed like Clemson couldn't stop the cutters, couldn't stop the puck from getting to the cutters, but really good use of the blades.
Quick jump on that one was Alex Wallace, the lone goal scorer for Clemson tonight, like previously mentioned. Puck in front of the Clemson bench. Stolen by the Gamecocks, stolen back by the Tigers. And it's go time for them with 5:40 to go here in the third period, trailing by 2. Colin Reed chases after it in the Gamecock zone. Sends it cross ice to number 6, who is Liam Forrest, one of those D3 call-ups. Sent across to Gouveia. He's going to be content with the dump and chase, and he gets finished off by Liam Forrest and then tackles him as well. No call. A little slow to get up is Gouveia. Tomoyen's going to hang on to it in the crease, and Gouveia's kind of Forrest, one of those D3 call-ups. Sent across to Gouveia. He's going to be content with the dump and chase, and he gets finished off by Liam Forrest.
Not what you want to see, especially in your last game on the Clemson ice hockey team. Troy Gouveia, hope it's probably going to hurt tomorrow, but I hope it doesn't hurt tonight.
Stick hand side, quick shot off the draw. Good block there by Riggins. Backhanded and flipped up out of the zone. Good chase by Scove here. He's going to hit the deck, but ends up getting his team possession, but a turnover from Riggins. Puck looked like it was offsides, but and now I think they're going to call it. The ref was evading the puck coming right at his eyes, so I don't blame him for missing that one.
Late whistle better than no whistle.
Yeah. 4:46 to go here in the third period of the Palmetto Cup. Close matchup here tonight. The Pushkar with the insurance goal early in the third to give the Gamecocks a pair of goals tonight. He's looking for the hat trick. Here's Will Traynor, sends it across to Flaherty. Flaherty steps in, shot, just whistles high. Will Traynor Down low to Riggins. Riggins was taken down along the half wall. Now back the other way comes Kurta, who gets stood up by Skov. Puck comes into the zone. Turnover there. Now looking out front for Kurta, and he just couldn't get the tape on it. Good look there for Clemson, and they need a goal here quickly if they want to have a shot at this one. Will Trainer's trying to make sure that doesn't happen as he enters the zone. Try to drop it for Riggins, just a miscommunication there. Weird bounce off the stanchion, keeps the puck in the zone for the Gamecocks. Comes back to Skov, sent down low by Pushkar, and Farisi hangs on once more.
Line changes on both sides as the puck comes to Farisi's stick side for the face-off.
Face-off was originally won by Clemson, but now there's a tie for possession, and it's actually going to go in favor of the Gamecocks. Dancing away from pressure is Wallace. Matt Wallace, that is.
Yeah, there's a couple of brothers. We got the Wallaces and the Gaveas on Clemson.
Puck back to the point. Down low it comes for Van Molen. Now chance out in front, they score! Great passing play. Garrett Albers, 4th goal of the season. And the senior from Hanahan, South Carolina, might have just put... Down low it comes for Van Molen. Now chance out in front, they score! Great passing play. Garrett Albers.
His senior year, you know, get some goals in, you know, score, why not? You're, I don't want to say a program legend, but you were on one of the best teams in program history, the AAU Division I championship team from just 2 years ago. That was, I believe, his first year on the team, and to see him still making an impact in his last game, it's something special, man.
Gamecocks lead 4-1 with just 3 minutes to go here in this final play of regulation. Matt Franco isn't done just yet. He tries to enter the left side, ends up turning it over. He was stood up by Will Trainer. Back the other way comes Nico Toshin, lost control of it. And now another opportunity for Will Trainer to get the puck here. Sent in front to Toshin. He just sends that one high as well. Puck trying to be cleared. It comes back to Trainer at the point. He sends it towards Farisi, who will squeeze his chest pad tight and stop it with 2:43 to go. Face-off coming to the blocker side of Farisi, who's been busy tonight. Gamecocks had Jake Pushkar score 2 of the goals. Carson Stickley on the board as well, and Garrett Albers just scored a brief moment ago. Nico Toshin trying to dance his way through the face-off dot. Got it poked away, but the Gamecocks retain possession. Sent down low, and now back to Albers. Trainer's going to go after it, but here's Owen Connors. Hit right by the penalty box. Puck comes back into the Clemson zone, but a couple fresh legs were headed to the bench for some water. So nobody there. And then here's another turnover for Clemson. Matthew Winklebleck over to Flaherty. Flaherty enters the zone smoothly, then gets stood up, and now a chance here for Skov. Bouncing puck, rebound opportunity. It's loose in the crease, and then it's cleared. Van Sickling going after it. Bouncing puck, teams trading possession. Minute 45 to go here in the third period. A huge thank you to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits for hosting this Palmetto Cup here in 2026 and for having us come on out here and broadcast this one. A huge thank you to our tech crew, Arelimar Rodriguez, Abby Gavaletz. Oh, as there was another opportunity there.
And
for the Gamecocks to score
as well.
And Pflugrath. I was trying to get through it without anything happening, of course, when I start. David DuBois wants to go for a highlight goal. Takes another shot there, goes wide. Puck comes around the boards. a big hit. You could probably hear that from up here. Here's Jake Pushkar. Final 60 seconds of the season for the Gamecocks and Tigers here. Shot goes into the netting, high up into the netting off the stick of John Riggins. Want to thank you guys for tuning in on SGTV here today as well, live from Secours Wellness Arena in Greenville, South Carolina. A great game nonetheless between the Gamecocks and Tigers.
Yeah, closer than the last matchup between these two, the 7-0 affair that happened in the Plex in favor of the Gamecocks. And both of these teams ended the season hot, so we thought, you know, maybe we'd see something different, and we did. Clemson looked really good defensively, but it's kind of the goal scoring against the Gamecocks.
For the final minute of regulation, all seniors on the ice for the Gamecocks. One last shift together, eh?
We can run through some names at the end. I think it's only fair.
That shot was blocked. 25 seconds to go. Back through center comes DiBartolomeo. He stood up, and he and Riggins are going to go at it. Right in front of the crowd. And it wouldn't be the Palmetto Cup without some late game fireworks.
Push is getting into it too a little bit.
So Riggins and DiBartolomeo will be separated in front of the Gamecock faithful there on the glass.
And with 13.5 seconds left in the game, Austin, I think I made the right choice in my bet in the second period to say next score wins. I mean,
we're going to go at it. Right in front of the crowd. And it wouldn't be the Palmetto Cup without some late game fireworks.
Push is getting into it too a little bit.
Ends his career with a fight. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Little scuffle. DiBartolomeo, a freshman, so he's got quite a few games still left ahead of him.
He'll be back.
I think he was fine. He kind of started it too. I mean, he kind of wrapped up with Riggins, and Riggins said, all right, let me finish this.
Riggins likes to end things.
Yeah. Including shifts with the goal.
Yeah. Ooh.
Riggins will end the season with 6 goals. One last opportunity for Pushkar. He lost the handle on it. And as the time ticks down, South Carolina is going to win the 2026 Palmetto Cup.
As the shot on goal counter goes to 60 with a cheap little save for Farisi at the end.
Some fireworks post-game. Teams will be separated. No love lost between these two teams, no matter where you play or when you play them.
Yeah, I think last time they didn't even shake hands at the Plex.
And I think that was the refs doing. I think
yeah,
they didn't want them to do it because of the fireworks afterwards, but Gamecocks get the horn. 4-1 in their final game of the 2025-2026 season. 60 shots on goal for the Gamecocks. Just had to mention that one more time because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's crazy. 17 shots on goal for the Tigers. Tyler Tamoyan picks up the win, getting him into the double digits on the season. He finishes the year 10-2-1. Only gave up 1 goal tonight. Saved 16 out of 17 shots. Farisi will end his season at 500. 1-1 as he gives up 4 goals on 60 shots, making 56 saves though.
Which is really good.
It's pretty, yeah, it's pretty good. So they will shake hands here in Secours Wellness Arena. What a great day it was between the ECHL Swamp Rabbits and Iceman game, and then the Tigers and Gamecocks. We knew this one was going to be special.
All right, we're going to take just a little break for 1 second, and then myself and Austin are going to be back. You get to see our beautiful mugs one last time for a quick post-game and a debrief from this great day at Secours Wellness Arena. We'll see you in just a few.
Welcome to the SGTV postgame show. The Gamecocks defeat the Tigers by a score of 4-1 as the Gamecocks salute their fans that traveled the 90 minutes, maybe 100 minutes, depending on where you're from, out to Greenville here at Secours Wellness Arena, home of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. What a great day, Tyler. Let's run through the goal scores. It started with Jake Pushkar and the Gamecocks in the first period.
Yeah, it did, and then, it went on to Alex Wallace for Clemson, and we got a couple other ones. Will Stickley, really, really big for the Gamecocks. Not always a goal scorer, but he got a lot of shots today. The whole Gamecock team got a lot of shots today, to be fair. But, Austin, if you had to pick kind of a little tradition we do around here, player of the game, let's do for both teams if you have one.
I do, and I'm going to go with 2 goal scorers tonight. And a 2-time goal scorer tonight as well, the captain Jake Pushkar in his final game here with the team. The senior from Summit, New Jersey, just a great career, obviously has those records that he broke this season as well. So just a great night for Jake Pushkar. 2 goals, 2 out of the 4 for the Gamecocks. And then for the Clemson Tigers, I got to go with Alex Wallace. I mean, a couple good looks from the Tigers tonight, but he was the only one that could find the back of the net and was able to put a home 5-hole as well. So very, very special goal for him as well. I mean, you're scoring in a pro arena. It's got to feel amazing.
The one goal the Tigers did have was pretty.
It was.
And I might go a little off kilter for my players of the game. I think I'm going to go... Neither of these players scored any points because one of them is a goalie. I'm going to go A.J. Parisi for Clemson. Defending 60 shots, only 4 goals. You let up 4, you lose the game. Sucks, right? You played really well, though. I mean, A.J. Parisi, great job filling in Parker Dietz. He didn't get a majority of the minutes in the regular season. And for the Gamecocks, I believe no points on the day somehow. Carson Scove. Passed the puck so well, got into so many transitions, and just really good game all around. And I think that before we head out, unless you have anything else, at least one more thing, we should probably honor the seniors on both teams because, more than just this game, this is a whole season, this is a whole culture, this is some people's young careers. So it's sad to say, too, from our perspective as students at the University of South Carolina, that a lot of the lifeblood of that AAU Division I championship team is heading out. We got Pushkar, Scove, Albers, Riggins, Flaherty, David DuBois, Ben Riccitelli, Tamoyan, and Zach Hayes wasn't in goal today, but he was for many years for the Gamecocks. And then for Clemson, some seniors leaving: Sulikov, Troy Gavea, Santiago Diaz, Oliver Grinkin, and Colby Carey. So congrats to all of you on fantastic careers.
And we want to thank you guys for tuning in here on Student Gamecock Television. A huge thank you to our crew behind the camera and behind the laptop that makes this all possible. Arelimar, Rodriguez, Abby Gavaletz, and Pflugi, Pflugrath. And a huge thank you to you guys for watching each and every game. It's been a great season. The Gamecocks finished 12-4. And alongside Tyler Perrone, I'm Austin McConnell one last time here on SGTV saying good night.